I have had clients say, F it. I'm going to ignore my budget. I'm going to ignore the agreed upon spending plan that I have in place, and I am going to do what I want to do when I want to do it with my money. There are different reasons why this happens, and I want to share a couple of examples today because in both of these examples, it's tied to the concept of sacrifice and being willing to sacrifice for others and managing your thoughts around that sacrifice. And even though they look very similar on the surface, they're actually very different scenarios, and I find it fascinating. So I'm excited to share that with you today because I feel that so often when it comes to the concept of financial coaching and managing our money, I have to remind people all the time, it's not about the money. It's not. It's about your mind and whether or not you're managing it well and understanding what's really going on in there. Because it is ultimately our thoughts which produce feelings, which produce actions, which produce results. And our goal overall is going to be to recognize the thoughts we're having that are producing feelings that transition into actions that don't actually serve us. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I mentioned earlier that both situations are tied to the concept of sacrifice. In example one, we have a high income earning couple, and in this situation particularly, the wife is the primary income earner and the husband is now starting to also join her, like he's matching her, okay? In this situation, he is struggling with the concept of, because we make so much money, why do I have to sacrifice? Why can't I just go do what I want to do when I want to do it? I mean, that's really the crux of it. He wants to feel free in his decisions. He wants to feel free in his spending, and he wants to feel ultimately like I'm a big guy. I can do what I want. Now, the problem is that it was coming out of alignment with the agreements that he had previously made, and that was producing in him guilt and shame. So while he was acting like as though he was free, it wasn't true freedom because there's some hangups there. So we had to ask, okay, why are you not willing to align with the agreements that you previously made and not let up and dig in and push for the deeper answer? And in the end, what we ultimately found out with this particular person is that he didn't feel like paying off debt was a big enough reason. Now, that's what his wife wants, is to be debt-free. She wants that financial stability and that financial security. He, on the other hand, didn't feel like that was a good enough reason to sacrifice doing what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. And so in this situation, the answer isn't to, badger him into agreeing with her. The ultimate solution is to find out, what are you willing to sacrifice for? What is a big enough dream that you would be willing to sacrifice for? Maybe that is a dream of loving your wife in the way that she wants to be loved. Hey, that's a fantastic dream. And if that's the dream, then by all means, let's reframe this so that it's not about paying off debt. It's about loving your wife well. But maybe you want something even bigger than that. Maybe you imagine something really grandiose, and I'm all here for it. I mean, my company is called Picture It, right? I want you to picture the big things in life that you're interested in, and then I want us to have a plan to get you there. If he can come up with a vision for the future that inspires him to sacrifice, honestly, that to me is the key to the beginning of happiness. You determine the ideal and then you start working steadily toward it. That's his homework. I mean, ultimately that was the answer for him, is you've got to figure out the thing you're willing to sacrifice for. And that's what he's going to be working on. And honestly, we might end up coaching on that for several sessions just to make sure that he knows that I'm sacrificing for a purpose. I really believe that sacrifice is the heart of love, and I also believe that sacrifice is the path to success. Jocko Willink says that discipline is freedom. When you're disciplined with your diet, you're free from obesity. When you're disciplined with your money, you're free from financial hardship, right? When you're disciplined with your goals, you're free to live the life you really want. And that's what we're working on with him. So if that's something that you're interested in, again, I know I've brought it up a million times. I have a workbook. It's called the Big Picture Workbook. Check it out because it really asks you these questions, and it helps you, it frames questions in a way to help you determine, what do you want your life to look like in 3 to 5 years? If you can have a crystal clear picture on that, and it is a compelling vision, you will naturally want to do the things that feel hard now so that you can have the life you want later. So the whole choose your hard thing, that's how you do it. Okay, now we're gonna move on to example number 2. Again, husband and wife pair, high income earning couple. Now in this situation, it's different. Again, it's the same in that the husband is not spending in alignment with the agreements that he had made with his wife. However, the reason for him doing this, once we dug deeper, is because it's not that he doesn't feel like he can sacrifice, nor is it that he doesn't want to sacrifice. It's that he's been sacrificing a lot. They're on the cusp of about to have their first baby, and he's been kind of burning the midnight oil. He's been trying to get things set up in a way financially where when baby comes, after the end of maternity leave, his spouse can become a stay-at-home parent. That comes with, that decision in and of itself is a major sacrifice. That comes with a lot of stress. That comes with a lot of emotional baggage of like, I have to do this, I have to deliver, I have to sacrifice, I have to say no to the things that I want to do when I want to do it to make sure that my family is provided for. He's looking at it like, this baby's going to be here in like 2 months. I'm kind of freaking out. And I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, because even though I've been sacrificing for a time, I really think when this baby comes, my whole life is going to change. And I agreed with him. Your life is going to change, and I'm not saying that from the place of fear. I think that's a disservice that a lot of older parents say to younger parents. It's like we feel like we're mentally preparing them, but we put a lot of fear and a lot of angst on them, and we feel like you kind of let them know like your life is going to change and it's never going to be the same. And yeah, there's truth in that, but holy smokes, could you make it sound any more doom and gloom? So I'm like, listen, that is true, but it's not like you're going to never have fun again. It's not like it's the end of the world. As a matter of fact, what's probably going to happen, the most likely outcome is you're going to see that beautiful baby and you're going to be so filled with love for that child that the sacrifices you're making now that are stressing you out, you're going to start doing it for love. Like sacrifice is the heart of love, right? You're going to want to do it. And it's still going to have its hardships. It's still going to have some stress, but the motivation is going to be really strong. And I'm reminded, I don't know if you guys watch The Simpsons, but we're a Simpsons household. It's almost embarrassing to admit that. But there was one episode a long time ago where people were like, Homer, why do you, I can't remember exactly how the episode goes, but I know the kicker at the end is that Homer has a picture of Maggie up in his, nuclear power plant office space. That is his reminder of why he goes into that crappy job every day. Like, he loves her. He's doing it for her. He's doing it for his family. Like, that's his motivation. In the end, for this client, it wasn't like have a big picture for the future. It wasn't like, it was all about grace. In example number 1, it was like, come up with something that you're willing to sacrifice for. And in example number 2, it's like, you're already willing to sacrifice. Like, give yourself some grace. Spend the extra money right now. Like, it's gonna be very different soon. And so take a breather from your hard and firm debt repayment plan and coast for a little bit. Coast for the next 2 months. Heck, coast for the next 5 months. Just love your wife well, and wife, love your husband well, and bring this baby into a world where you're surrounded with this like happy feeling of like gratitude for each other and for the gorgeous life that you're building together. And then we revisit the plan. That's the thing about money management is it's never, you don't have one plan that fits forever. Like, you look at it, you adjust, you adapt, it's a dynamic thing. I've shared in my prior video that my husband lost his job. Like, this is the way it is. Like, life is gonna throw you curveballs. You respond to the curveballs. You don't react, you respond. Have the big picture for your life. Think about where you wanna go down the road and make the decision that will get you closer to that place. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you guys, and I will see you in the next one.